Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rats on Film, the show where a bunch of film rats talk about and rank movies. I didn't think of a little line for this one.
Do you want to take mine?
No. I'll get one. Hold on. Give me one second.
That's what I was just trying to look up before when you were...
So you weren't ready. I wasn't ready either. Hey, someday we're all going to be 40. On the show today, we are talking about an icon of rom-coms, Meg Ryan. Sort of actually a Meg Ryan, Nora, Ephron episode. On the show with me today, I have Tristan.
Hello, don't skip to the end of this podcast to listen to
Nice. Jordan.
I'll have what you're having.
Oh, that's good too. And I'm your host, Xander. Welcome to the show, everybody.
We all picked the same movie.
We did. I was going to use that one, but I figured I wasn't going to get introduced first, so I planned for a different one.
I try and keep people on their toes about who gets introduced first. I
feel like you always introduce me last.
I truly don't think about it. I just try and randomize it.
Fair enough.
All right. So this is a Jordan suggestion of an episode. Fall is approaching. A lovely rom-com season. Probably the rom-com season, I would say. Maybe winter.
And spring. But spring's like a little bit different. I don't know. Cozy fall movies are just like the best.
And arguably no one has done the cozy fall movies better than Meg Ryan.
True.
Yeah. And Nora Ephron. So we're doing the unofficial Nora Ephron Meg Ryan trilogy. The three films that star Meg Ryan. Nora Ephron wrote all three of them. She directed two of them, not the third one, but she did write all three. And I mean, yeah, just a combination that was very, very iconic and that all three of us really love.
Facts. Big facts.
They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah,
No,
I feel like that's cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, rewatching all of these movies for this podcast, we'll talk about each movie individually, but there's something so, I don't know, I honestly don't even know the word, but like it's like almost familiar when you watch it. It's like nostalgic and fun, even though I wasn't like an adult in the 90s, but just cozy. And I love it.
I feel like they are they lay the groundwork for what we think of a rom-com.
I think you'd struggle to find anybody if you said name some rom-coms and then one of these wouldn't come up on their list.
I would question if they didn't.
Yeah, you'd say you don't watch rom-coms.
Yeah. I will say, I think the rom-com is kind of trying to come back. You know who's in some good rom-coms? Like Glenn Powell in two good rom-coms. So
yeah, that's true.
I would love to see the rom-com come back.
Yeah, it's weird. In the age of streaming, it's almost sort of been relegated to a direct-to-TV movie genre more than the theatrical model for it.
Yeah, it's weird because we've kind of devolved where like rom-com has become synonymous with like a Hallmark movie almost.
Yes, so true.
And I think there's obviously space in the genre to do both and different things, but like movies were being, distributed in theaters and they were like these big theatrical productions like the three that we're talking about tonight. But then now we're kind of like most rom-coms are TV movies, but to Tristan's point, like there have been a couple better ones recently. So like maybe the genre is coming back on a theatrical scale and like the event movie of the summer can be a rom-com starring a big hit actor.
I feel like the way that people perceive rom-coms too in terms of the level of film that they are has completely changed as well. Like two of these three films that we're talking about were nominated for Academy Awards.
Well, and there's something so interesting because I obviously am the only woman on this podcast tonight, but I think today a lot of people would say rom-com is like a woman-dominated genre in terms of viewership, and I think that probably is true with something like a Netflix streaming movie, like those Lindsay Lohan movies that Netflix puts out or something like that. But to your point, like even when the Academy was more men, like in the past, these movies were nominated, and I know plenty of male friends and who are huge fans of these movies. So like it's interesting to see that genre shift, and I would love to see the genre continue in a space where like regardless of gender and sex, you can just like a movie based on what the movie is. But I think for a little bit we kind of devolved into like people dismissing movies for being not their genre.
Well, you suggested this list and I immediately said, oh, well, we should have Tristan on it because Tristan loves rom-coms and he loves When Harry Met Sally and these movies.
As you should.
As you should. Absolutely. It's funny. We have other girl rats on the show, and I was like, well, Tristan is the person besides you I know that loves them the most.
Yeah, I will just come out and say it right now. When Harry Met Sally is probably one of, if not my favorite movie of all time. When someone's like, what's your favorite movie? Usually the first thing out of my mouth is When Harry Met Sally. So
yeah.
I mean, we'll get into it in a second, but literally the first note I have written down is one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm right there with you, dude. It's incredible.
So good. And I just want to circle back to Jordan's point about like the perception of rom-coms. I feel like in the early 2000s, I think the market was just oversaturated. Like we got so many rom-coms, and then they kind of devolved into the more of like the raunchy rom-coms. They weren't as like endearing and as tender as the three that we're going to talk about. They just had like a different messaging to it. And then I feel like that kind of reflected in the way people were perceiving them, and they kind of
that's fair.
That's why they kind of went to the wayside for like 20 years, and now they're kind of making a comeback, thankfully.
That is such a good point that I've never really thought of. But when we were kids, I don't know if it was studios or just people writing movies realized that sex sells. Like, obviously the three movies that we're talking about tonight, like there's like elements of sexual relationships in them, but like they're not sex movies in the same way that a lot of the comedies that we grew up with are.
Like an American Pie or something like that.
Exactly.
Which is like kind of a rom-com, technically speaking.
Yeah, like these are like romance forward comedies, and then we kind of grew up with sex forward comedies, which like obviously it's a relationship, but it's like a different element of a romantic sexual relationship, which is that's such a good point.
Yeah, it's a good observation. Speaking of sexual relationships ruining things, men and women can't be friends. Everyone knows it, and it was brought to the attention of the world in When Harry Met Sally in 1989.
What a movie.
We've already started with one of the best movies ever.
Yeah. One of the best movies ever.
I don't know if there's a movie with more iconic characters who are not characterized other than just being normal people, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I do think they're very iconic characters, so I see what you mean.
Because in some ways, Harry and Sally are like both the everyman. Like they have their quirks, don't get me wrong, but they are just both playing like the everyman character, and the movie is kind of just about like life and relationships, but they're so iconic. Yeah,
I mean, to your point about their characters, I feel like I know the movie's great from the first scene because, this episode is slightly Nora Ephron coded. Shout out to Nora Ephron, an incredible screenwriter. The way that she introduces them and the quirks that you're talking about, I feel like right off the bat, you go, these people both kind of suck, but also I kind of love both of them. Yeah. I kind of feel like I would be friends with both of them. Sally is so annoying. She's meticulously planning every mile stop, and Harry is literally spitting grapes onto windows. Like it's just, it's just crazy.
Talking about how he sits and thinks about death for hours at a time.
Yeah, same.
Relatable content.
In this day and age.
Now, I don't read the last page of books. Do you guys do that?
No.
Sometimes.
But sometimes I read ahead.
Sometimes.
You read ahead?
Like sometimes I'll flip to a page and I'll start reading like the bottom of the second page just to like see if like a character, like if I feel like something bad is going to happen, I'm like, oh.
Okay. I have done that before.
Yeah.
I looked shocked when you said it, but I haven't just like flipped to a random page, but there have been situations where I was scared about something that's going to happen, and I just Googled, I'm like, does this happen? to just prepare myself.
Mentally prepare. Mental fortitude.
Yeah. And then also, in case I die, I know what happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love them. I think they're incredible. I think the dialogue between them, the chemistry between them, the way that they are both so set in their ways, and initially it feels so opposite. It feels so detached. You just think to yourself, there's no way that these two people can be friends. And it's something I love about the movie is that they're not initially. They go on that road trip and then they go their separate ways. I don't remember what the time jump numbers are. I didn't write it down. Like 6 years or something like that. 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. They have that meet cute, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't actually spark the friendship. They are so different. They are so diametrically opposed. He comes on to her, she gets offended, and they separate.
I mean, she's literally like, you're the only person I know in the city. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, well, sorry, can't be friends.
I think the pacing is also really well done, especially for a movie that spans such a long period of time, because you basically only see them in like these little moments in their lives, but yet you feel like you know everything about them. Like we're jumping the timeline so fast. Like there are full years of their lives we don't see, but we get information from their conversations with their friends, which I think is done so well in this movie. I think like the batting cage, the bookstore, there are so many interesting locations to have basic dialogue scenes that I just love, like, I mean, one of my favorite moments in the entire movie is the karaoke machine bit when they run into his ex-wife. But like, like, why are they there? Like, why are they at Radio Shack or wherever they are? Like, or Sharper Image, I think it is. Like, why are they there? But it makes it so much better than like them being, I don't know, someone texting someone nowadays.
Sitting at a table over a cup of coffee. Like, they have those scenes in here too, but they really do mix it up. I fully agree with you. The scene where he's explaining to his friend about his divorce and the wave is happening at the stadium and they just keep standing up. What an incredible way to block that scene of, it's an exposition scene. You need to know that he got divorced to set up him and Sally getting together. It's just incredible visual comedy. And just juxtaposing that with my wife decided she doesn't love me anymore. And maybe she never did.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're doing the wave the entire time. It's great.
It feels natural. Like, it feels like a real relationship in the sense of, we see these people, like you said, they're very much opposed to each other. They're butting heads. And then it's not like, oh, they rekindle 5 years later. No, they're still at odds with each other. And then another 5 years goes by. And even then, when they meet each other at the bookstore, Sally is very much like, this guy sucks. She's telling Marie, she's like, this guy's terrible. Like, you would love him. He's married. Like, he's a bad guy. And
I love Carrie Fisher in this movie.
That's another thing. The two supporting characters of their friends are so good in this movie. Like, it really helps to push Harry and Sally's relationship forward. And like you said, it gives chance for these really fun and interesting dialogue scenes where we get to learn about these characters. And when they finally actually start being friends, we can kind of see, like, immediately that Harry is more than willing to have a female friend. Like, he has changed and evolved. This divorce has taken a big toll on him, and he's willing to try something new and not be this, like, very loathsome character that he was when we first met him 10 years ago.
Yeah, Harry's so interesting because he's so dogmatic, he's so set, and he's so matter of fact, which is, I mean, it makes for really great comedy and really fun, sharp dialogue. But I just, again, going back to the opening scene, one of the best scenes in movies, the way that he talks to her, where I think there's one line that I love where he just goes, no, pretty much all men think that. It's so matter of fact. He's like, I'm right. I've studied the world and I've made the correct analysis about what it is. And you don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't agree with me, then die stupid. Like, that's his mentality to start in the movie. And yeah, he does change as the movie goes on and as time passes. People do change. And it's great performances from Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal to have the characters evolve over the course of the movie and feel like they're the same person, but also different in some way.
Yeah, I think the confrontation scenes between the two of them, there are a couple, but I think all of the confrontation scenes are just so good and important to the story. Like the scene when they're at Carrie Fisher and the other guy's house, and then like they leave and he like yells at her and he's just like, do you ever care about anything? Like, do you ever feel emotions? Or does that nothing matter to you? Like, I just love those moments because that's when you get like the seeds are being planted throughout the story of like who these people are and what their beliefs are. But like both of them, as we've said, are diametrically opposed, but then they slowly start changing each other by confronting each other and having conversations and becoming friends.
Well, do you know what else is interesting about that? I think that's a really good point. And I think that it kind of speaks to there's an interesting framing device in the movie of the couples talking about how they got together.
I love it.
It's really so weird. It feels out of place in some ways, but also it fits so well. Like it's a strange dichotomy that it has for me. But I think to your point about them confronting each other and that opening each other's eyes on things, they're not perfect for each other. They're not made to be. This isn't a fairy tale. It's not, oh, we're soulmates type of situation. They kind of drive each other crazy. Yeah. But also, they're each other's best friend.
Yeah.
And Carrie doesn't understand why Sally isn't more emotional about certain things. And Sally doesn't understand why Billy is so emotional and so convinced everyone is out to get him and everything is a certain way and there's no chance for happiness or anything else. Like, they actually are not, they don't fit each other in all of the moments in the movie, but they're still friends and they still fall in love in spite of all of that. And I think that's a nice message. That's a real message.
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who do you think falls in love first?
I think Harry does.
Harry. I think it's absolutely Harry.
That's because we're men.
Yeah.
Who do you think falls in love first?
No, I agree, but
I think the seed, like we said, the seeds that are planted of them, like eventually going to be together is when they bring someone else to that game night and they're both just looking at the other person's significant other so distastefully. Perfect. And then they have they have the conversation with their friend and are like, so this person kind of sucks, you think? And they're like, no, they're actually really awesome. They're like, you should get to know them. And they're like, no. And you see the compromise that both Harry and Sally are willing to kind of sacrifice to try and put themselves out there again and date, when Sally and Harry are both like, well, Sally doesn't like this. Well, Harry doesn't like that. And then you realize kind of in that moment, it's like, oh, they know each other like so intimately that it feels earned, and it feels really good when they finally do get together at the end.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Also unrelated, but the soundtrack is really good. Just like the vibes, the music and the score, everything's so fitting.
Yes.
Yeah, it does have a nice, it adds a nice touch to it. It's very subtle. It's not in your face. It's not flashy, but it fits the movie and the mood really well.
Out of the 3 movies we're going to talk about, obviously we'll talk about the others. I think this one is the most beautifully shot of the 3. I love, like, there's so many good scenes, like the one when they're walking in the park and they are both
with the
kind
fall
of
leaves.
Yeah,
in the fall
beautiful.
leaves. It's just outstanding and gorgeous to look at. And then there's the scene in the apartment where they're doing the rug. Like, when you think of this movie, like, I'm sure those are like 2 of the shots that you think of, and they're just so well composed, and it's just, everything about like the way it's framed and everything is so good. I love it.
I think I'm fully with you. I think they're beautiful images, and they do really stick in my mind. And I think something about them is the kind of centering these 2 people in this larger than them world. You know, both of those shots that you're talking about are really wide.
Yep.
There's a lot of background, you know, the high-rise apartment you can see out in New York City. And it just reads to me very much like you're kind of witnessing this like little pocket of the whole world of just like these 2 people's story of where they're intersecting with each other. And you're only getting the pieces of it. Like we said, it's very vignette-y. It's jumping back and forth. And I think those visuals really evoke that feeling in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's rarely a static shot in this movie. People are either talking fast, which adds to like the energy on screen. People are moving around the frame. And then you get those intercut scenes of the couples. Those are really the only static shots we get. We get like interview shots, and then we have the bustling New York City romance and friendship between Harry and Sally. And then I love that it ends with their interview.
Yeah. I also want to shout out, I think I'd be remiss to not say Rob Reiner is incredible. He's genuinely one of my favorite directors. I think he is so underappreciated. Like, I know people love his movies, but I feel like he doesn't often get the credit for how much he brought to them, and the pace and the way that stuff is staged and all of these decisions, things that we would be talking about, him being part of the mastermind behind that and bringing this movie to life in such a kinetic and memorable way, I think is really a testament to him as a director.
Also the outfits. I think some
the outfits are so good.
Yeah, they're so good. Like, I mean, Harry's outfits are pretty good for the time, but like Sally's outfits, I want all of them. I literally want her entire wardrobe. The
How much hairspray do you need?
The bowler hat. Oh yeah, she has so much hair. She literally has so much hair. It's not even funny. Just like her little pantsuits. I want them all. I want her little skirts. I want all of it.
Good sweaters in this movie.
Oh yeah, very good sweaters. Yeah.
Talking about, you know, cozy fall movies, you know, need some inspiration for sweaters. Go watch When Harry Met Sally.
For 100%.
Like, actually, I feel like if you were to look up on Pinterest like fall outfits, you would get the image of them like after they put the rug down in the
little crouch.
Yeah, him in the like white. It's like off white, off white, and her in the red.
I think I would also be remiss to not mention, because it's probably my personal favorite scene in the movie, is that when Harry confronts Sally at the very end and confesses that he loves her. I think that scene is incredible and so beautiful, because it's not, you know, your kind of cheesy romance movie where it's like, oh, you know, I've always loved you. It's always been you. He's like, you drive me crazy, and it takes you an hour to order a sandwich. He's like, but that's the things that I love about you. It's these tiny little things that you see that Harry has picked up on Sally. And it's all of those accumulation of little things that turns into this grandiose love he has for her.
And it's nice for it to resolve with the no games, no dogmas, no outlooks on the world, just you and me. I'm not lonely. I just love you.
Yeah.
I think it is a great moment.
Yeah, I think that's all anyone really wants from a rom-com. And like having someone recognize you for who you are and love you in spite of the things that other people would think are annoying is like literally all anyone can ask for.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think that movie,
it's so nice and hopeful. It's a hopeful message also, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I love a hopeful message. And I love love.
Love rocks.
Hot take.
And I think that's why it has endured and stands the test of time, because you can show anyone that movie and, if they go into it with an open mind, they can be like, this could happen to anyone. This is a very real movie.
And I think part of that is also Billy Crystal is not usually a leading man. He feels more like a side character actor. Not that he's not talented. I love him, but I don't think he's often playing the romantic lead in every movie that he's in. I mean, Meg Ryan clearly is. We're going to talk about two other ones. But even her, I feel like both of them kind of have the like girl next door, boy next door feeling that like you feel like you could know them in real life. They don't feel like this heroine or hero of a fantasy novel or something like that you are just like, this is unattainable. They're just like people you would know or you are. And I think both of their performances ground the story in that too.
All right, top of the list for this one, everybody?
Top of the list.
Easily. List. All right, next up on the list, Sleepless in Seattle, 1993. We got two Seattle boys on the pod to talk about this one.
And here comes my hot take. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as probably most people did. I think it is an okay movie.
Wow, just okay for you.
And I will tell you why. In the rom-com department, I just didn't like that Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan didn't interact that much. They had like 2 scenes together.
I mean, that is a really interesting thing that sets this one apart compared to When Harry Met Sally and rom-coms in general.
Yes. And for me, I guess maybe I'm more of a traditional rom-com enjoyer. Like, I do like the movie. Like I said, I just wish that they had more scenes together because they do have good chemistry. And I know it's the next movie we'll talk about, but you kind of see that in You've Got Mail. Like, put those 2 on screen more. They're good together. So that's my biggest complaint is I wanted more of them together.
I think that's very valid.
I think to play the devil's advocate on the other side, I fully get what you're saying, and I think that is fair. But I think that you get an interesting twist on the rom-com genre here, where the thing that stands out to me the most in this movie is the involvement of Jonah, the son.
Yeah.
I think that it's a really different sort of approach at a romance movie where you sort of have the male lead, in this case, down and out. He's lost his wife. It's a really traumatic moment and he's feeling like he'll never love again. And the catalyst for all of what happens in here is his son being like, my dad is not doing well and I think he needs to get back out there. I love that. I think it's so cute. I think the kid actor is incredible. And I think that it adds a different dimension to what romance can be and sort of what love is. Like, I get the love between the father and the son is not romantic love, but I think it is a level of love that they're showing for each other in the movie where they're both going through this really hard time and they're both trying to cope with it in their different ways and they're both trying to help each other through it in their different ways. And I like that about it.
I would agree with that. I think those are probably the best scenes in the movie is where the father and son, Tom Hanks and Ross, are just having these real conversations of, feelings of loss and, hey, we need to address how we're feeling about losing mom and my wife, like these are important conversations. And I do like that a lot, but I wanted the 2 of them together more.
Yeah, I love this movie, but I definitely hear your point, Tristan. I think there's something a bit odd when you're watching it and Tom Hanks's character Sam kind of feels like an unwilling participant in the relationship. Like he's just living his life, right? Like his son loops him onto the radio. He's going through a tough time and like obviously his son loves him and obviously by the end I think he even buys into like exploring a new relationship being a positive thing for him, but the whole time he's just kind of like unwilling to be a part of anything. And then on the flip side, Annie is like kind of in a parasocial relationship with him. Like he doesn't really know her.
Yeah.
Is this the earliest parasocial relationship on film?
Maybe.
That's such a thing in our worlds today.
But that's like basically what it is, right? She's having these feelings where she hears him, and at first she's like, there's no way. And she slowly does start to like, maybe not fall in love to the largest extent with a capital L, but she starts having feelings for him. That's why she does what she does. You know what I mean?
She's got to
like, obviously she sees him once in Seattle, but like she's developing one-sided feelings that way. He doesn't even know who she is, which I totally think is valid. Everyone has some sort of parasocial relationship that they've experienced, but it's just, I don't know. This is like a weird wish fulfillment movie in that way. And then like Tom Hanks's character is just like living day by day. And then he's like, oh, maybe I should listen to my son. And it's just kind of a weird setup for a rom-com, honestly, for those reasons.
No, I like that's fair, but call me crazy. I kind of love and I buy in, and I'm a sucker for when she's listening to the radio and she's completing his sentences. I'm like, ooh,
that is
maybe
good.
They'd get along. Maybe they'd get along. Now I get, the soulmate conversation, that sort of thing. We literally talked about how When Harry Met Sally is not that, and we hyped up how much we love When Harry Met Sally for those reasons. This is maybe leaning more into the opposite direction where it feels a little bit more faded sort of thing. These star-crossed lovers, if you will, they live in different cities, and she just happened to be listening to the radio that night. But I don't know, I kind of eat it up a little bit.
I would eat it up more if she broke up with Pullman before.
Yeah, that's fair.
She went too far. Like, she really...
When she's hiding in the closet with the radio.
she
literally
drags Bill
lying
Pullman
about
along.
flying to Seattle to go see Sam. And
He's such a real one, honestly, though. The way that he takes it,
he's so
huge respect.
easy.
No, but honestly, him just being like, well, I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't love me. Everybody should look at that and feel that way. And you should not be in a relationship with someone who doesn't love you as much as you feel that you should be loved. And good for him.
Yeah. There was no like big blow up about like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you would do this. He's just like, you know what? Yeah, I get it. I want to be with someone who loves me. You should be with someone who loves you and you love. So
yeah, and I think it's a really easy trope to fall into of they're in a relationship, but they found this other person. So you're going to make the person they're in a relationship with do something shitty to give them a reason to move on. And he doesn't. He's just a nice guy. He's not right for her. Like, that's fair. But he is just a nice guy who thought he had it with her and they didn't.
Yeah, I do appreciate that she does tell him before she goes to the Empire State Building.
Yeah. And you do see Annie is full of guilt a lot of the time. Like she's very torn about it, but
I mean, Rosie O'Donnell's a bad influence. I love her in this movie, but she's egging her on.
Yeah.
She's sending letters secretly.
My hot take is that it's kind of very stupid to me that this movie is called Sleepless in Seattle. And like all of the branding is about that, but the climax, the end happens in New York.
New York.
Yeah, why isn't it the Space Needle?
Yeah, like why New York? Why did she make him fly to New York? I mean, I know the kid does, but like, what a weird. Yeah, why not Seattle?
It was just like it was the weird thing where she's like, Bill Pullman's like, hey, let's spend Valentine's Day in New York, and she's like, okay, and then she's like, I'm gonna also invite this other guy who I might love more than my fiance.
No, it is a fair thing because like, why wasn't the writing just, hey, what? I'm having a business trip in Seattle. We should go to Seattle, and she's like, oh shit, that's exactly where I want to be to leave you.
Yeah.
And then it's the, what do I do? I don't know. It is interesting. I said it already. Tristan and I are both from Washington. It's there's not a lot of movies set in Washington. It happens every once in a while.
It does, I think, capture the perfect Washington where it's like Tom Hanks is walking home, has an umbrella. It's absolutely pissing rain. And then like a couple hours later, he's standing out on the deck by the water and it's perfectly dry.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, totally true.
It's like, all right, you got Washington there. You got Seattle.
It's basically always about to rain, or it just finished raining and it's about to rain again. Those are pretty much always the moods that you're in. I think that this one, it's not quite as funny as When Harry Met Sally is in terms of the dialogue, but I think some of the kid moments are really funny. I loved my dad's been trapped by a hoe. I thought that was crazy and hilarious. Like, just so wild that this kid is calling up a radio station and being like, help, a hoe has my dad. Save him.
Yeah, I think to your earlier point, Xander, there's something so sincere and novel about this movie being like the kid is the inciting incident. Like there was no reason that these people would have ever met other than the kid being like, my dad needs help. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, going back to like the hopeful messages, like the people that are there for you in your life mattering, and romantic, like obviously it's a rom-com, so the romantic love is like the end point of the movie, but that the relationship there is really nice.
You do have to wonder though about Jonah. He really hates the girlfriend in the middle of the movie, basically exclusively based on her laugh. And he loves Annie, but we don't know how Annie laughs. Do we get a good taste of her laugh in the movie? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Now, what if her laugh is bad?
What if her laugh is worse than the first one?
Meg Ryan's got a good laugh, but we don't know what the character Annie's laugh is like.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might be in for trouble. It is an interesting place where the rom-com basically ends with the meeting. The exact opposite of When Harry Met Sally, which starts with the meeting.
Yeah, and they don't really even talk to each other the whole time. Like, it's all through the kid, through the radio station, through their friends.
He has no interest in knowing her. He thinks she's a crazy person from, the other side of the country who listened to a show.
Yeah, he has more to say about the lady that writes from Oklahoma, that he's like, that looks like my third grade teacher. That is my third grade teacher.
That's such a good bit. Which Meg performance do you like better?
I mean, I like Sally better
than
Annie.
I like Sally better too. I will say this movie does have a good supporting cast, like we talked about, Rosie O'Donnell as kind of the devil on Annie's shoulder, telling her like, hey,
what a great way to describe it.
And then you have Bill Pullman, who is just, I don't think I've ever seen a movie where Bill Pullman looks so dorky and is like, conventionally it's like, I could see someone wanting to be with Bill Pullman, but then you see the way he interacts with everyone, and you're like, kind of get where Annie's coming from. Yeah.
Sorry to the Walters out there.
Yeah. And then Rob Reiner is in this as well.
Yeah, shout outs to him.
And he's great. The bit where him and Sam are walking down to Pike's place and he's like, do I have a cute butt? And he goes, let me look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great moment. I love that.
It's not as cozy of a movie. It is a cozy movie, but it's not as cozy.
It's more sad at times, and it's more stressful at times, I feel like, as well, because you have the element of the sort of cheating, you have the element of the kid running away to New York by himself, whereas When Harry Met Sally, I guess you have a moment of stress of when they get into their big fight, but you never really believe by that point that they're going to stay fighting.
This movie's more cozy in the sense of like, it's if something you're looking for that will eventually have that warm fuzzy feeling. It's very introspective of like, oh, I need to address some of my issues before I get into a relationship, and I need to make sure the people in my life are okay as well. That's kind of how I feel about like
that's a really
the
good
warm
point.
fuzziness in this movie.
Now, what do you think about this though? Do you guys think they stay together? You think they end up together?
Yeah.
No, she has a bad laugh. And and Jonah's like, we got to go back to the other girl, Dad.
What city do you think they live in?
Probably not Seattle. I don't think he had any attachment to Seattle.
No, he just moved from Chicago to Seattle because it was far away from.
It just was symbolic, it's crying, he's crying.
Yeah.
I do think that the moment where he kind of hallucinates his wife still being there is quite impactful, and
it makes me weep.
Yeah. That scene in particular is really, really.
I'm gonna cry thinking about it. It literally makes me weep.
It really hits. It's a terrible thing to think about.
Yeah, I think because of that plot too, like the mother passing away, his wife passing away, I think that the fact that this is kind of like a distanced romance until the end feels like a little bit nice, because it doesn't feel like he's just immediately getting over his ex-wife, his dead wife. What do you call that?
Ex-wife. She's got exes for us.
No, he's a widower, but what do you call her?
The widow.
I don't think there's a word. Not that I know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're a sicko for that. But
cut this out.
Cut that.
Keep it in.
I just think there's something nice about him not immediately getting over his wife who passed away, and there's like this long build up, and I think that's why this movie is more melancholy at times and sad, but it takes Jonah to be like, okay, now is the time, like you need to have people in your life. I need to have people in my life. Like maybe this person could be the person, take the risk. I think that's basically the plot, like the message of the movie.
Yeah. I don't think they stay together. I think there's too much expectation on it. I think she's got an idea of who he is.
That parasocial relationship.
Yeah, that parasocial relationship.
You want to know what could have helped you think they might stay together? If they had more than 2 scenes together.
Yeah, fair enough.
Definitely.
I think maybe they date and have a nice time, but I don't know that it's going to work out.
It's just a fall fling.
All right, so obviously we're all putting this above When Harry Met Sally, correct?
I am not.
No. Good joke.
Tristan,
Good joke.
Tristan, you said you love it.
I said I like it. I do like it. I just needed.
He said, whoa. Let's pump the brakes. It's a lowercase L.
It's yeah.
Yeah, I would put it below When Harry Met Sally. I'm only messing. It was a bit, guys. We've got one more teaming of Meg Ryan and Nora Ephron, another iconic Meg Ryan rom-com performance. You've Got Mail, 1989.
Tom Hanks is back.
Tom Hanks is back. His name, Joe Fox.
Joe Fox. Fox.
I mean, just to start off, I love that this one has like bookstore settings.
It's such a
Fox,
unique
and Sons.
setting for movies. You don't see that.
Yeah, and I love that we're like in her little indie bookstore and it's thriving with her little community. And then like the big bad Fox and Sons comes along and they make a Barnes and Noble across the street, basically. And like all of that is just like so like tale as old as time. But I love that as a backdrop for like a rom-com. It's so interesting.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's a very anti-capitalist movie. So look out for the little guy. Get these big corporations out of here. I'm very versed in rom-com tropes exclusively via Jordan. And I think that setting, what you just described, the big bad conglomerate bookstore versus the small little independent bookstore, it sets up a great way to do the classic enemies to lovers.
The thing that's so interesting though, that I will say, is usually in enemies to lovers, the enemies are aware of each other being potentially the lovers. But in this one, they kind of fall in love separately.
Yeah, it is a weird setup.
But they both kind of know it's the other person by the end.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little fucker.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it and I kind of hate it.
This time, Tom Hanks is the parasocial relationship.
Yeah, true.
They reverse it.
Yeah, actually, it is interesting to compare it to Sleepless in Seattle, where we jumped around a little bit, but for the first half of the movie, they're talking to each other kind of as like a blind date on email. Again, a little bit of a cheating scenario, a little subtle cheating.
Yeah,
Nora Ephron and Meg Ryan love a little like, you don't cross the line, but you're like right on the edge.
Yeah. Jack Quaid should maybe get a paternity test.
You
just saying.
You know, you don't break up with the last one until you're sure the new one is good. You just talk. You just a little chat. A letter, an email, you know. But you do wait until your partner leaves. You watch them walk down the street of New York City, and then you run to the computer to write the message. You clearly don't think you're doing anything wrong.
Yeah, you're clearly not trying to hide anything. Or when Meg Ryan shuts her computer when her boyfriend walks in.
Yeah, you think she was gonna do the Ned from Spider-Man: Homecoming, where the teacher comes in and he goes, "I was looking at porn."
That would have been great on dial-up. Incredible. It was still loading. She hadn't even got to it when she closed.
Yeah, it was like it was just loading one row of pixels at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but them not knowing each other, but you, the audience, having more information than the characters, where you realize that they're gonna be enemies before they realize that they're gonna be enemies. You know, the scene where he's taken his, I don't even remember what their relationship is. His nephews?
His brother,
half brothers,
and his aunt.
and his sis and his aunt. Yeah, like that dynamic is bizarre. His family's bizarre. Don't like him. Bad vibes.
It's weird.
Bad.
It's very rich people where it's like, hey, don't be like these weird rich people.
Tax them. That's what I say. Get them. Bad vibes. That scene when he comes to the bookstore innocuously just to show his kids a good time, and they have this little moment, but he knows she'd hate him, so he lies. He pretends that he's not who he is, and then she catches him, and she does hate him. He was right. Little does she know, they're chatting away.
She wants his help still on how to take him down,
which is hilarious. He's like, I can help. I can help you ruin this man. Who is he? Name names.
When he's working out on the treadmill and he's like basically hearing what kind of he said to her in email, and as she's doing that TV interview, and you're just kind of like, oh, and then it cuts to him, and he's like, I didn't say that. And
I do like that. Yeah. But yeah, there's an interesting moment at the end where he knows who she is. He stood her up. Real dick move too. He goes in
when he shows up and moves her a little
gloats and messes with her. Real scumbag move.
Yeah,
maybe not like him.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they spend so much of the back part of this movie where Tom Hanks is in the know about who she is and she doesn't, and she's still like clinging to this fantasy of him as this person that is not Joe. And then he's just manipulating that for what seems like kind of months.
Yeah, it does. How do you guys feel about this? Now, Jordan, how would you feel if this was done to you? Would you have the reaction that she had at the end, or would you be like, you fucker?
Okay, I think two things. I think I would be mad at first. I think I would be like, you fucker. But what I will say, and I think it's important to the movie actually, in these moments where he knows and she doesn't know, obviously he's kind of all in on her. Like we see him, like he's still being a dick, but like he is falling in love with her. Bit. But she's falling in love with actually him as well, which I think is so important, because I think that's something that's like not done well in enemies to lovers a lot of the time, where it's just like they hate each other, but despite it all, they like each other. Like I think there are little moments in the plot where like, yeah, he's being a bit of a dick, but you see her kind of being like, okay, well, like I kind of am into it.
It's a bit also of the true self versus the way you present out in public, right?
And,
he's got a family dynamic that he's trying to live up to. He's a businessman.
But I think there's something that's so satisfying when the enemies break down the enemy barrier into becoming lovers. And I think often, or at least in a movie like this, where they're secretly loving each other via AIM and then they're enemies in real life, I think you need that breakdown, because otherwise you have her at the end going, I hate half of you and I like half of you. That doesn't really fully make sense. But because she is starting to even like the version she hates, I think the love at the end is believable. Or like I was hoping it was going to be you.
Yeah, it's kind of a cute line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it, like, as weird as it is that he does that, it kind of helps sell the enemies to lovers, where he is basically slowly kind of becoming who she's talking to, like very slowly and very subtly. Like he's nudging her in the right direction of like setting her up to reveal that it's him. And it's interesting. I will also say, kind of a way it subverted my expectations is he didn't go in and like buy the bookstore and like give it to her and be like, hey, it's me the whole time. I'm not this big bad guy. And like, no, he just ruins her life and shuts down her mother's bookstore of 40 years. Like, and it's like
very knowing full well what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And they just don't like address it in like what would probably be a typical rom-com setting, where it's like, yeah, I'm the rich guy. I bought it and I'm reopening it and I'm giving it back to you as like as a grand gesture at the end to win her over.
I have to imagine right after they cut, after she says, I was hoping it was going to be you, she goes, you fucked my bookstore up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to play devil's advocate about him knowing that it's her and her not knowing too, like, obviously we kind of buy in that it's a genuine feeling because it's a rom-com and you want that like romantic energy to be real. But he could also be just further manipulating her because he has all of the cards in his hand and she's like he's learning how to get her to like him via AIM and then just acting that way in real life.
Sure.
And obviously when you watch the movie, you're like, oh no, she does really like him. Like this is the guy he really is. He's a bit of both, right? Who knows? It could have really like insidious.
You're saying he's a villain.
Backstory.
Tom Hanks villain. First and You've Got Mail, then Elvis.
Whoa. Also, I feel like this movie tries to justify like kind of the deception to the significant others, because both of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan's significant others in the movie suck. They're both awful people. And like you could clearly tell from like early on, it's like, especially Meg Ryan's boyfriend, he's just like so obsessed with like himself and like the work he does. And so it helps soften the blow where it's like, you're like, okay, you know, you guys go ahead and go talk to someone online. Like it's okay. These guys kind of suck. which is a weird feeling to have. Like,
yeah, I don't know that I fully buy into it. I'm kind of just like, break up with these people if you hate them, but
yeah,
it is weird, but it's definitely intentional, I think, so that you're like, no, it's fine.
yeah.
Let them instant message each other anyway.
It is interesting talking about this one compared to the other two as well, because in When Harry Met Sally, they have a lot of scenes together and they're sort of diametrically opposed, but it's always in contact with each other the whole time. In the second movie, they have basically no communication with each other in Sleepless in Seattle. And then in this film, they kind of have conversation with each other the entire time, but half of those conversations, they don't even know they're talking to each other, which is sort of interesting.
Absolutely.
I don't think Tom Hanks is as charming in this movie as he is in Sleepless in Seattle.
No.
You like a sad boy better?
Yeah.
I don't think he's given
he's kind of a dick.
Material to be charming. Yeah, his entire character, I feel like, is mostly to be antagonistic to Meg Ryan, unless he's messaging her until that back part of the movie where he's like both knowing who she is and is talking to her at, like, in person and becoming her friend.
At the end, when you're trying to reconcile with, is this playful and fun that he's manipulating her and tricking her? Or is this like, this guy has a power complex and he's trying to be a better guy now, but to what end?
Well, yeah. And like to Tristan's earlier point about he doesn't buy the bookstore or anything, like what is he doing other than just moving forward in a relationship with her and being honest to her to like be a better person? Like he's still the owner of Fox and Sons. Like that's not changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her bookstore's still gone.
Her bookstore is still gone. He's still in the same exact place of like financial security and power.
Now I'll pose this question to you guys that I did from Sleepless in Seattle. Do you guys think they stay together?
Yes. I think they stay together in this one, probably more so than Sleepless in Seattle, just because they were having a mutual correspondence. Yes, it was kind of weird at the end with Tom Hanks, but they were both very much into each other and got to know each other, the real them, compared to Sam in Sleepless in Seattle, where he basically wanted nothing to do with Annie. He couldn't care less. So I could see this one, them being together more so than that one.
I'm going to say no, because they were both cheating on their significant others in the first place. So
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a fair point.
Someone
too.
better comes along and instant messages them, I wouldn't trust being in that household.
Hey, that's fair.
It's a very modern day take on dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think optimistically they could stay together because, to Tristan's point, they do actually know each other and they do actually like certain parts about each other.
I mean, I think the point of the movie is that they will stay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
To mention something that we've mentioned for the other movies, I do think this one is not quite When Harry Met Sally good, but better than Sleepless in Seattle good at being a cozy fall movie.
Yes, I
The vibes
agree.
are good. It's like autumn in New York is literally playing, and they're running in and out of Starbucks. Like there are leaves falling. Again, outfits are so good in this movie.
I think one of the opening lines is, Don't you just love fall in New York?"
Yeah.
And it's
I think when they said
cozy.
that, Jordan looked at me and said, "Let's move to New York."
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like too the Godfather bit in this movie. My note for that was all boys are the same. Where do you guys want to rank this one compared to Sleepless in Seattle and When Harry Met Sally?
At 2.
At number 2, Jordan.
As much as I really like this movie, I think the weirdness between the character dynamics, just like the cheating and the weird power imbalance and him just being a bit of a dick, I just like can't fully buy in. As much as like when I watch it, I really do love it, and I like it's a great movie. I have to put it last. Tiebreakers and
Down to you.
This one feels a little like too trickery, and I guess I'm just not an enemies to lovers guy.
The thing that's annoying to me is that like I fully am. I am always enemies to lovers, but in the way that when like Harry and Sally are,
Sure,
like they're
no, that's fair. They are enemies to lovers.
They're ops, but they're not enemies. I think I'm ops to lovers.
Ops to lovers.
Yeah.
New genre, new subgenre. So I think I'm going to agree with Jordan. I think I'm going to put You've Got Mail last.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not think you were going to do that. Xander loves Jonah.
Yeah, I do love Jonah. Jonah's got big points for me.
I honestly, it's a good ranking. I think they're both of those are very close for me. I just enjoy like enemies to lovers a little bit more. Yeah, the dynamic was weird, but I can't be mad about Sleepless in Seattle.
No, that's fair.
That's totally fair. And I feel like it just would depend on the time I watch it, honestly. Like if I watched it again, maybe I would change my mind. So I'm totally with you. These two are really close.
I do think what it kind of comes down to is that in Sleepless in Seattle, I like both of the characters, even if I don't know that they should necessarily be together based on the situation that they're in. I do like both Sam and Annie. And You've Got Mail, I'm not a big Joe Fox guy. I don't really like him. I think he's kind of a scumbag for the beginning of the movie, and then maybe he's good at the end. It's a little off-putting to me. So I think that's really where it came down to me for my decision.
I do feel like it's more of like it's a better buttoned up visual movie, like because it's all in New York. I think the visuals are a bit more consistent, and I do think that maybe it's just that You've Got Mail has higher highs and lower lows for me, but Sleepless in Seattle is just like more consistently the same.
Let's do the ranking. The official Rats on Film ranking for Meg Ryan, Nora Ephron rom-coms, starting from the bottom: You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, and The Big Cheese, When Harry Met Sally.
Well deserved.
An excellent Big Cheese. Three great screenplays from Nora Ephron. 3 great performances from Meg Ryan. An icon of romance cinema. 2 icons of romance cinema. If you've never seen any of these films, especially When Harry Met Sally, do yourself a favor. Go watch them. They rule.
And have a nice cozy fall.
Thanks for listening to Rats on Film. Be sure to rank us 5 stars. Tell a friend about the show. We're a bunch of little rats talk about and rank movies. It's the romantic season of fall. Enjoy a nice cozy time, cuddled up with a blanket and a fire and a podcast, and tell someone else to do it. Follow us, Rats on Film Pod, social media, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify. We'll post this list and all the future lists we make on Letterboxd. You can follow us there as well. And we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about some more movies. Bye.
Bye.